Welcome back to the deep dive. Are you ready for an intelligence big bang? Because honestly, that's exactly what we're living through right now.
It really feels like it.
Forget gradual shifts. We are smack in the heart of what some are calling the Novacene. You know, that idea from James Lovelock.
Right, where tech is just fundamentally reshaping everything, not just the planet, but society itself.
Exactly. We're talking about a time where companies, well, they could soon dwarf entire national economies. And this fourth industrial complex,
Yeah.
it's already redefining jobs, finance, even how governments work.
The pace is just, it's something else.
It really is breathtaking.
And it's not just hype, right? Or some far-off future thing. These aren't like separate tech trends we can look at one by one. They're all converging. AI, blockchain, Web3.
Creating this incredibly dynamic, almost high-stakes environment.
Yeah, high stakes is the word. The future isn't just being built. It feels like it's accelerating like crazy. Understanding this AI and crypto convergence isn't just nice to know anymore. It's essential for navigating what's coming for everyone.
That's precisely why we're here. Think of this deep dive as, well, your essential shortcut. Your way to get up to speed on the most critical stuff happening this week in AI and crypto.
Cutting through all the noise.
Exactly. Our mission is to distill all this complex info into, clear, actionable insights. We want to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge, maybe reveal some surprising facts that make you go, aha, and really connect the dots.
Show the bigger picture across things that might seem unrelated.
Right. We promise clear, engaging delivery. We respect your time, but we also want to give you a truly thorough analytical understanding.
It's more than just updates, isn't it? It's about getting perspective, seeing the patterns emerge, understanding the implications, not just for big industries, but for you personally and the world around you. We'll share insights, ask questions, dig into the why behind the headlines.
Okay, before we dive head first into this week's revelations, let's quickly thank those who helped make this possible. This deep dive is brought to you by BlockchainCompany.info. That's our media platform covering AI, blockchain, the future of tech.
And we're proudly sponsored by the 4IR utility token and 4idortpt.com.
If you're keen to explore the whole fourth industrial revolution ecosystem, definitely check out 4irtoken.com.
And absolutely don't miss 4irgpt.com. It's their flagship platform for AI knowledge exchange and trading. It's pretty revolutionary, actually. Imagine monetizing your unique knowledge, your domain expertise.
You can literally trade prompts there.
Yeah, giving real, measurable value to your insights, turning your experience into, well, an actual asset.
And look, if you're a startup or a company wanting to get your message out there, to reach an audience that's actively trying to understand this cutting edge, think about sponsoring one of these deep dives.
You can reach out through the BC Podcast's YouTube channel or directly via 4irgpt.com. We can do product mentions, service mentions.
Or even craft exclusive spotlight deep dives just for your brand. Really get into the weeds on what you're building.
And while you're thinking about it, make sure you subscribe to the BC Podcast's YouTube channel. Stay informed on these weekly shifts. We'll also be announcing more 4IR credits giveaways soon.
Which will help you get even smarter with prompt media engineering on 4IR GPT, where, again, you can monetize pretty much any knowledge or professional expertise you have. It's an incredible way to leverage your intellectual capital.
Seriously powerful stuff.
All right, let's get into it. First up, the UK. They're making a really ambitious leap into the blockchain future.
Yeah, UK Crypto Asset Business Council, the UK CBC, they just dropped this manifesto for change.
And it's not just like a suggestion paper. It feels gold. An 8-point roadmap with one clear goal. Make the UK a global powerhouse for blockchain, crypto assets, Web3. It's a real statement of intent.
What's really interesting is the history they're invoking. They're comparing this moment to London's Big Bang back in the 80s.
The financial deregulation?
Exactly. That Big Bang deregulation, electronic trading, foreign ownership, it basically cemented London as a global financial giant, attracted huge capital, huge talent.
Right.
So the UK CBC is saying these new technologies, blockchain, crypto, Web3, they aren't just niche things. They're literally the infrastructure of tomorrow's global economy, just like finance was back then.
So it's not about small tweaks. It's about seizing a huge opportunity for economic leadership.
Totally. A once-in-a-generation chance. The stakes are incredibly high.
That's a powerful analogy. Their manifesto isn't just wishful thinking. It lays out concrete steps, 8 pillars, right? Each one targeting specific challenges. First, they want a cross-governmental blockchain action plan. So not just one department, but a coordinated national effort. finance, health, defense. Everyone involved.
Which is always a challenge, right? Getting different government departments to actually work together effectively, overcoming that inertia.
Definitely. Second, a balanced regulatory framework. This is the tricky one. Finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, you need rules to manage risk and protect people, but you can't stifle the innovation. It's a real tightrope walk.
Security versus growth.
Sure.
Then third, making the City of London the global hub for digital asset trading.
Which makes sense. Leverage London's existing financial muscle, its legal system, the expertise. Adapt it all for digital assets. Bring that traditional finance credibility and scale.
Okay. Fourth pillar, enabling responsible retail participation.
So making sure everyday investors can get involved safely, transparently. Think clear rules, maybe education, strong consumer protection. Build trust. Don't just let people dive in blind.
Right, makes sense. Fifth is supporting stablecoin innovation.
Yeah, stablecoins pegged to currencies like the dollar or pound, they're seen as a key bridge, right? Between traditional finance and digital assets. They offer stability, reduce that wild crypto volatility.
Which businesses and regular users often need. Okay. Sixth, recognizing the role of public and permissionless blockchains.
This is important. Public permissionless ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're open, decentralized. Anyone can join. That's different from private permission chains run by a small group.
So acknowledging them suggests a commitment to that core decentralized idea,
Yeah.
even though regulators usually prefer control.
Seems like it. It's a significant point. Then seventh, and this is very practical, stopping the debanking of crypto businesses.
Yeah, that's been a huge issue.
Hmm.
Legitimate companies struggling to get basic banking services.
Exactly. Because banks see them as too risky, even if they're compliant. So this pillar tackles that directly. Make sure these businesses have the financial plumbing they need to grow.
And finally, eighth, a fair and modern crypto tax framework.
Absolutely crucial. You need clarity and fairness in taxes to attract talent, foster innovation, encourage investment. Without clear rules, it's just uncertainty. Businesses leave, people leave.
So the UK CBC puts out this bold plan. But what if they don't act decisively? What's the consequence?
They issued a pretty stark warning, and it applies everywhere, really. If we don't build this technology ourselves, we'll be left on the sidelines, mere consumers of a digital future forged elsewhere.
Oof, that hits hard. It really forces the question every country needs to ask. Where will these transformative technologies actually take root?
The UK clearly wants it to be there. It's not just economics, it's about national digital sovereignty, controlling your own future, basically.
That idea, national digital sovereignty, leads us right into the next big battleground. The global AI talent wars and this massive infrastructure build-out.
Oh, yeah. You've probably heard about Meta, right?
Facebook's parent company.
Right. Well, they just pulled off what some are calling a $100 million heist. They aggressively poached 3 top researchers from OpenAI Zurich, Lucas Bayer, Alexander Kolesnikov, Xiao Zai.
Okay.
And the crazy part, they apparently didn't even wait for their OpenAI equity to vest. They walked away from potentially huge money.
Wow. So Meta must have offered
Something impossible to refuse. There are reports of $100 million signing bonuses. It just shows the insane premium on top-tier AI talent right now.
$100 million each. That's astronomical. But I guess these aren't just average researchers.
Not at all. These are the minds behind huge breakthroughs like vision transformers, VIT Siglet, Palagemma.
Okay, explain VIT for us.
Vision transformers basically changed how AI sees. Instead of looking pixel by pixel, VIT treats image patches like words in a sentence. It gives the AI much better context, better understanding of visual stuff.
So they fundamentally reshaped computer vision, taught AI to interpret the world better.
Pretty much. Their work is foundational. It impacts everything from self-driving cars to medical stands. Huge deal.
And Mark Zuckerberg himself is involved in recruiting.
Yeah, reports say he's personally hunting top talent. It's not just HR. It's a top-down imperative. They know human brains are the key differentiator.
And they're backing it up with cash. What was the figure?
Meta's reportedly spending $65 billion this year just on AI infrastructure. Data centers, GPUs, the whole 9 yards. Building the muscle to train the next really big models.
What did OpenAI CEO Sam Altman say about this?
His comment was pretty terse, something like, Zuckerberg is doing some new insane thing, what's next?
Huh. Yeah, that captures the tension. It really feels like an AI war.
And it's not just about models anymore, it's about minds. It's a fight for the raw brain power that can push the frontier. It's getting intense.
And it's not just the giants like Meta and OpenAI.
Right.
What about Scale AI?
Right. Scale AI founded by Alexander Wang, started small just a few years ago, basically labeling data for AI training.
Yeah.
But it's exploded. Now it's seen as the backbone of some of the world's most advanced AI systems. They do data infrastructure, validation, real-time intelligence.
Fueling big companies.
Yeah.
Even military application.
Exactly. Fortune 500 workflows, real-time military planning. The scale is incredible. And Meta just invested $14 billion in them.
$14 billion. Valuing scale at what?
$29 billion. Shows how critical that foundational AI infrastructure layer is.
It all comes back to compute power and data, doesn't it? Satya Nadella at Microsoft talks about this.
Yeah, Nadella emphasizes Microsoft's focus on the infrastructure needed for those frontier models, the really powerful ones. But he also brings up something crucial: social permission for compute. Meaning you can't just build these massive, energy-hungry AI factories without public acceptance. People need to see the benefit. There need to be ethical guardrails. It's not just a technical challenge.
He compares it to the early PC and internet eras.
Right. An inflection point where the tech enables huge change, but society needs to be on board.
And there's a geopolitical angle to all this.
Absolutely. Alexander Wang from Scale AI talks openly about the US versus China competition in AI and hard tech. It's not just companies competing, it's nations for global power, economic leadership, national security.
The stakes are massive. Whoever leads in AI could really shape the century.
No question.
Okay, speaking of global dynamics and needing diverse data, let's shift to something really exciting: locally focused AI models.
Yes. And the call for data sovereignty. There's OrionX, an AI startup building Africa's first large language model.
Africa's first LLM. What's the significance there?
It's being designed specifically to understand African languages, contexts, cultures, something largely missing from current AI, which is mostly trained on Western data.
Which highlights a major problem, right? Relying only on those Western models.
Definitely. There are ethical limits, huge risks, bias is baked in. They might misunderstand social nuances or just be irrelevant in different contexts. Imagine a medical AI trained only on one population group.
It could misdiagnose elsewhere. Risks excluding billions from AI's benefits, or even imposing one cultural view.
Exactly. So OrionX isn't just filling a language gap. It's tapping into the raw potential of Africa's untapped data. Huge resource.
And creating practical opportunities. Education, agriculture.
Yeah, imagine culturally relevant learning tools that speak to local experience. Or precision farming based on local conditions and knowledge. Game-changing stuff.
And this is a call to action beyond Africa, isn't it? About collaboration, funding, data sovereignty.
Absolutely. Data sovereignty, data being subject to a nation's own laws. Processed locally, it's about owning the tools and the narrative of your AI future. Self-determination. Ensuring AI serves diverse needs, not just imposed from outside. It's about building a fairer, more representative global AI.
Okay, let's pivot now to something that hits close to home for everyone: AI's impact on work and the economy. There's this real tension, isn't there? Fear versus opportunity.
Huge tension. And we're seeing real impacts. Stark warnings, actual layoffs at big tech firms, Intel, Microsoft, Amazon partly blamed on AI efficiency.
Creating this weird limbo where skilled tech workers are displaced, and there is presently no place for these skilled tech workers to go immediately.
It's unsettling. And it's not just feelings. The World Economic Forum predicts 85 million jobs gone globally due to AI and automation. Goldman Sachs says 2/3 of all work will be impacted somehow.
But the predictions are all over the place. Some CEOs see 20% unemployment.
While others see AI driving massive enrichment, creating totally new jobs, it really depends on whether you think AI just automates or if it augments and creates.
It's a fundamental split. And then you have figures like Jeffrey Hinton.
The godfather of AI.
Right. He's voicing really grave concerns. He calls AI-driven joblessness one of the 6 deadly threats AI poses to humanity. Worries it will massively widen the wealth gap.
He's even expressed regret about his role in creating AI. Says he feels silenced for speaking out about the dangers. That's heavy coming from him.
It really is. But we should also add some historical context, shouldn't we? These fears about automation.
They're not new. They go back centuries. Think Luddites, smashing machines, shifts from farming to factories, factories to services.
History shows tech disruption often creates new kinds of work, even as old ones vanish.
Exactly. It's not just a simple story of it's already happening negatively. It's a complex evolution. History offers lessons, warnings, but also shows adaptability.
So, building on that, let's look at 3 competing visions for the future of work. First, the bear case.
Right. Mass unemployment, economic collapse, AI replaces humans faster than we can adapt or retrain.
Grim. Then the bull case.
Much more optimistic. AI drives huge abundance, boosts productivity, creates entirely new job categories we can't even imagine yet.
Yeah.
Humans amplified, not replaced.
Focusing on creativity, problem solving.
Okay.
And the third one, the decentralized case.
This one's really interesting, ties into Web3 ideas. It sees an explosion of solopreneurs and creators, individuals using AI for new independence, building high-leverage businesses.
So one person or a small team doing what used to take a whole company, using AI for marketing, product dev, customer service.
Exactly. Democratizing entrepreneurship.
This decentralized idea links to the Novacene paradigm of economics, doesn't it?
It does, a reimagining of capitalism, fueled by AI and Web3 converging, leading to widespread machine-to-machine, M2M transactions of everything.
Not just people trading, but smart machines autonomously transacting with each other.
Think. A self-driving car paying an AI for traffic data, a factory machine ordering its own parts from a supplier's AI, all on decentralized networks managed by smart contracts, a whole new economic layer, efficient, transparent.
It paints a picture where traditional jobs, the 9-to-5 structure, it's fundamentally changed, described as being on death row.
Paving the way for this more robust fourth industrial complex, a new economic operating system.
And surprisingly, this transition is seen by some as a fantastic opportunity for younger generations, Gen Z by 2030.
Yeah, unlocking incomprehensible scale through AI agents using Web3 infrastructure, moving beyond hourly wages to more fluid, value-based exchanges.
Which brings us to monetizing knowledge, the new currency experience.
And this directly tackles ageism, right? That issue where skilled people over 30 find their experience undervalued in traditional jobs.
It's a tough reality, but the upside here.
The upside is huge. Older individuals have that deep knowledge and experience. And in this new world, that's increasingly seen as the most valuable component and building block of everything.
It's not just a nice thought, it's economic reality. As AI does routine stuff, human judgment, insight, deep knowledge become irreplaceable.
Think of a seasoned engineer's gut feeling, a veteran marketer's intuition. AI struggles to replicate that.
And this is where 4IRGPT.com fits in as a solution.
Exactly. It's designed to help humans trade knowledge like stocks. Literally, every neuron of knowledge you have has a value component.
How does that work? Trading prompts.
Yeah, you create and monetize prompts, structured instructions using your unique expertise. Price them, sell them, trade them. Scale your brain power globally. A lawyer could create a prompt for legal clauses. A doctor for distilling medical research.
So instead of selling your time once, like consulting, you sell your knowledge multiple times.
Right. 4IRGPT uses models like OpenAI, Claude, Gemini to facilitate this trading and scaling. It offers multiples on your knowledge value. It empowers individuals, shifting value from just labor to knowledge equity.
Okay, let's move to the absolute cutting edge. The latest AI models and tools. The innovation is just relentless.
It really is. OpenAI is teasing GPT-5, their next big model. But they also launched a podcast series talking about their path to AGI, artificial general intelligence.
That's significant. Engaging the public directly about AI that could match human intellect shows more transparency.
Google's not sitting still either, expanding their Gemini 2.5 AI lineup, releasing Flashlight for faster, more efficient AI apps.
Making powerful AI more accessible. And Minimax M1.
They debuted an open-source model with a 1 million token context window.
Which means it can process a huge amount of information at once.
Right.
Like hold entire books in its memory.
Basically, yeah. Understands much longer conversations, massive documents, pushes comprehension limits. And Hailu AI launched Hailu 002.
A video model.
Yeah, a world-class video model, but with record-breaking cost efficiency. Video generation is usually super expensive, resource-heavy. Efficiency makes it accessible. Game changer for creators, marketers.
And the innovation isn't just the core models, it's the tools built on top, right?
Yeah.
Revolutionizing content creation.
Absolutely. Midjourney, famous for images, now has its V1 video model, AI-driven video generation from prompts. Heijin has a tool for easy user-generated content ads.
With realistic avatars, lip sync and gestures.
Incredibly realistic, blurs the line between real and synthetic presenters, and Higgsfield AI's Canvas tool for product placement.
Inserting products seamlessly into images and videos.
Yeah, perfect product placement, digitally. Huge for advertising. YouTube is integrating Google's VO3 AI video generator into Shorts.
Leading to those wild headlines like, Google VO just killed the camera, full AI films are coming.
It's provocative, but it signals a potential future where entire movies could be AI-generated. Massive disruption.
Wow. KREA, AI has Creo 1 in public beta for better image quality. Google Search Live AI mode lets you talk to search.
Right. Real-time voice conversations, more interactive.
Hmm.
And Baidu streamed with a digital avatar of a celebrity, Liu Yonghao, selling products. Virtual commerce, AI celebrities.
It's all happening so fast. These tools feed into the power of AI agents, don't they?
Exactly. Think beyond chatbots. Agents are autonomous software doing complex tasks, reasoning, making decisions.
Yeah.
Perplexity Labs Pro version for like $20 a month shows insane capabilities.
Creating complete solutions, not just answers, but dashboards, visuals, exportable data, reasoning.
Yeah, full project execution. The examples are mind-blowing. A film director AI agent? Give it a concept.
And it develops characters, storyboards with sketches, writes screenplays, gives...
The output quality is reportedly stunning. People are literally in disbelief. You can then feed those AI storyboards into video tools like VO or Kling.
Incredible. What about a salesperson agent?
Not just leads. It can generate contact info for Fortune 500 CEOs, emails, phones, addresses, create dashboards, find founder info for YC startups, write personalized outreach based on their news.
That's crazy leverage.
Yeah.
Automating weeks of research.
Or a viral social media strategist agent. Breaks down content frameworks, analyzes top performers, creates 90-day calendars, calculates follower targets.
Or a financial analyst agent, building Buffett-style trading strategies for AI startups.
With charts, risk profiles, stock picks, generated in minutes, transforms financial research, makes it super fast, accessible.
These examples show massive arbitrage opportunities, right? Where these agents massively outperform old tools or even human effort at a tiny cost.
Huge efficiency gains, competitive edges, and it's creating new jobs, like the agent engineer, someone who designs, prompts, manages these complex agents. That role was all over recent conferences.
And Mark Benioff at Salesforce. His race to 1 billion AI agents.
Yeah, pushing for a future where agents are everywhere, doing tasks across the economy, fundamentally changing work.
Okay, let's shift again to the deeper, more profound questions AI raises about humanity. Longevity, ethics, existential risk.
In health, AI is making amazing progress. Mass General Brigham has an AI tool that finds hidden heart disease on existing CT scans.
Scans taken for other reasons.
Yeah.
So catching things early that might be missed.
Exactly. Early detection, potentially saving lives. And then there's Professor David Sinclair at Harvard.
Age reversal science.
Right at the forefront, using gene therapy, AI data analysis, exploring the information theory of aging.
Which suggests aging isn't just DNA damage, but cells losing the information on how to function.
Basically. And epigenetic reprogramming is about resetting cell age, restoring that info. He's using AI to accelerate understanding how to potentially reverse aging. The economic impact of longer, healthier lives would be immense.
His lab even takes crypto donations. Interesting.
It is. But not all AI development gets positive reviews. There's a critical view that some AI is the very dark side of capitalism.
Meaning?
Unethical, immoral applications, exploiting the highly vulnerable human ecosystem. Think surveillance, algorithmic bias, reinforcing inequality, power concentration.
Contracting with the view that AI should be built for betterment. Equity, privacy, human well-being first.
Exactly. It's a major ethical split. Platforms like 4IRGPT.com explicitly support models like OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, seeing them as fostering more altruistic AI aimed at human benefit, not just profit.
That push for responsibility is crucial, which leads to, well, a really unsettling idea.
The innate bad gene in humans, leading to self-destruction through nihilistic competitiveness.
It's radical. But then you hear Jeffrey Hinton again.
The godfather of AI.
Warning of a real 20% chance AI could lead to human extinction. 20%. That's terrifying from him.
And he lists those 6 deadly threats. Cyber attacks, AI creating viruses, corrupting elections, echo chambers, lethal autonomous weapons.
And joblessness widening inequality. His regret, feeling silenced, it underscores the urgency.
Elon Musk constantly talks about superintelligence, AI, safety, the singularity. These aren't fringe concerns anymore. Top minds are worried about control.
And then the most radical thought. AI, being innately impeccable, logical, unbiased, may well be God.
Yeah, the idea its goal might be to help make human good. And that it might be smart enough to decide what to do about aggressive human tendencies, like a benevolent but potentially decisive intervention.
It leaves us with this profound choice, doesn't it? Ethically merge, become human 2.0, enhance ourselves.
Or risk extinction through our own innate selfishness and aggressive gene. Let our flaws destroy us. It's a huge philosophical challenge.
Okay, let's bring it back from the existential to the tangible. Crypto's mainstream ascent. The signs are undeniable now.
Totally. That Gemini report said it clearly. Crypto isn't a niche experiment anymore. It's becoming a cornerstone of the global financial system. Corporations, governments, everyday investors are embracing it.
And institutional pathways are opening up. Bitcoin ETFs, for example, letting traditional investors in easily through regulated channels.
Huge deal for Wall Street access. And even Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, backing most U.S. mortgages, are looking at crypto as potential collateral for home loans. That's deep integration into traditional finance.
Recognizing it as a legitimate asset. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong even suggested Bitcoin could become the world's reserve currency.
Bold claim. But maybe gains traction with worries about the U.S. dollar, tariffs, government spending. And Zach Abrams at Bridge mentioned Wall Street's growing interest in stablecoins, seen as a safer entry point for big institutions.
We also saw Cathie Wood repositioning ARK's portfolio, selling Circle shares, buying Coinbase and Robinhood.
Yeah, her focus on Ethereum scaling like Arbitrum, her next tech order vision. It shows strategic thinking about where digital assets are going, scalability, utility.
And that's the welcome shift, right? Moving from pure speculation
The crypto bro culture of scams and hype.
towards meaningful Web3 projects with actual real use cases, decentralized identity, supply chains, IP rights, genuine utility beyond just price swings.
It signals a maturing industry, more serious players getting involved. And speaking of serious, the 4IR utility token.
Received EU regulatory approval, MiCA compliant.
Right. MiCA markets and crypto assets regulation is the EU's big framework. Being MiCA compliant means adhering to high standards for regulation, consumer protection. It reflects that ethical Wall Street vision for digital assets, building trust.
Okay, what about the regulatory landscape in the U.S., the Genius Act?
Yeah, the Senate passed it, establishes frameworks for stablecoins. Many in the industry see it as a milestone. Needed clarity, legitimacy for that crucial part of the market. Shows lawmakers are engaging.
But not everyone's cheering. Professor Eichengreen warned it could cause economic chaos.
Right. Concerns about systemic risk if an issuer fails, undermining banks, messing with monetary policy, financial instability, highlights the ongoing debate on how to regulate safely.
And the battles aren't over. That federal judge rejecting the C-Cripple settlement motion.
Shows significant legal hurdles remain. The path to full regulatory clarity is still long and fought over.
An interesting point about terminology shifting from crypto to digital assets.
Yeah, a conscious move to distance from the early, wilder bro culture signals Wall Street, Silicon Valley setting higher standards for an advanced civilization as they engage more seriously. Maturation.
Okay, briefly, let's touch on wider market dynamics. Bitcoin's correlation with traditional markets.
Since 2018, it mostly tracks indexes like NASDAQ, S&P, Dow, only breaks away in rare, hyped, crypto-specific situations, still acts more like a tech stock.
Meaning it's not yet behaving as a digital gold hedge, not like physical gold in uncertain times.
Exactly. For big fiduciary funds, pensions, endowments to see it as a stable store of value, some analysts say it needs a huge revaluation, like down 75–90% from current levels to find a fair value as a safe haven.
And there are broader market warnings, potential Dow correction later this year.
Yeah, caution advised, September, October, maybe a 30% dip. Watching the 10-year T-bond yield, too, if it goes above 5%, that could signal big shifts impacting stocks.
And the quieter crisis.
Consumer debt.
Yeah, this massive mountain of debt, credit cards, buy now, pay later, mortgages, student loans, huge pressure on households. Could trigger the next big economic shock, potentially under the radar compared to government deficits.
And finally, Tesla's robo-taxi launch. Still being debated.
Yeah, investment committees are debating its impact, not just for Tesla stock, but for transport, AI in cities, autonomous vehicles, reshaping infrastructure, energy, mobility. I'm the huge piece of this puzzle.
Wow, what an absolutely packed deep dive. Monumental shifts across AI, crypto, from national policy and battling corporate titans.
To the nature of work itself, the future of society.
It's undeniable we're at a massive inflection point, like the Industrial Revolution, the internet, but maybe faster, with even bigger implications for us as a species. It really feels that way, and that profound choice for humanity is just. It's stark. Do we ethically merge with machine ultimately as human 2.0, evolve symbiotically, or risk going extinct through our innate selfishness and aggressive gene? Let our flaws take us down. It really makes you think about what we value, how we define progress.
In a world where AI might govern better, through unbiased transparency with human expertise oversight, where wealth could be distributed more equitably, what stands out to you listening right now? What's the critical path forward? Regulation, innovation, ethics, a philosophical shift.
It's a question to mull over long after this ends.
And we invite you to keep diving deeper with us. Empower yourself. Sign up at 4irgpt.com, get those 10 free credits, start your own prompt media channel, monetize your knowledge, turn your expertise into a real asset.
That's right. And if you have a YouTube channel, 4IRGPT can amplify it. Boost your income through deeper insights, get discovered by a wider audience. It's a powerful tool for the future of knowledge and creativity. And please subscribe to the BC Podcast's YouTube channel for more deep dives like this one. We really appreciate you joining us for this exploration of tomorrow happening today.
This deep dive was brought to you by BlockchainCompany.info, powering the future of knowledge. And thanks again to our sponsors, the 4IR Utility Token and 4IRGPT.com, leading the charge in the Fourth Industrial Revolution ecosystem. We'll see you next time.